Hello and welcome to my channel, Crochet and Copy. My name is Judy. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this lovely beaded purse. And we also did a lovely strap to go with it with beads. I'll show you inside. That's inside of our purse. But I also wanted to show you, if you check out my next tutorial, this is what we're going to do with the bag. We're gonna line the bag. Then that came out so nice. That's so nice. So as you see, I did a different color yarn and a different color bead. So check that out, and I put it in the description below. Here is the measurement of our bag. So these are supplies we're gonna be using to make our beaded purse. I'll go over them with you. We're gonna be using a stitch marker. We're going to be using two different hook size. The first hook is the E4 3.50 millimeter, and the next hook is the B1. It's the 2.25 millimeter, and we have a yarn needle, we have a scissors, and we have our beads. The beads we use is the glass beads. It's the size 6 beads, and it's the transparent red. I put more description with it has like the 16 plus. All this description, I put more of it in the description below, so check that out, okay? And to attach our beads to our crochet thread, we're going to be using the collapsible eye needle. We're going to need one of them. It's the 2.5 inches, and it's the medium. Put that also, I put all of this in the description below, so check that out. We're going to be using the swivel hook and D-ring. We're going to need 2 of them. This package have 3, no problem. A 1/2 inch is the size for our set. And we have the Lydia's crochet thread is the Fashion 3 100% cotton. It's number 1, super fine, and the color I use is natural. We need 2 of those, and we have a ruler and our canvas or plastic canvas that we're going to be using. So I'm going to just clear off my table, and I get to show you more about how to attach the beads to the crochet thread. And going back to the beads, you need, I would say, to be on the safe side, pick up 5 of them, okay? So that you're safe, because we use also for the bag strap, because in case you lose any of them or they roll away while you're attaching them, just pick up, I would say 5, okay? So go ahead and make sure you pick up 5. So let me clear off my table, and I'll show you the size we need for the plastic canvas and how to attach the beads to the crochet thread. So with the plastic canvas, I'm not going to show you how to cut it. I figure you know how to cut, but we want to have it that we measure it a measurement of 5.5 inches right there, and then go consider this the side of our bag. You do it 3 inches. I wanted to show you. So when you cut it, you see you don't want it to have those little holes, because when you crochet to attach it to the bag, we wanted to have at least, see here how I did it, how I cut it, enough that was there, because it won't be able to attach to anything if you have it like that, okay? So if you want, you're not to give it some more room, and then later on you just come back down and trim it, okay? So make sure you have 5.5, and then from the side of our bag 3 inches, and that's it. So now let me show you how to attach the beads. So I already went ahead and attached my needle to my crochet thread. All you do, because obviously the little beads, they have holes, so you just go ahead and poke it through the holes, and that's it. That's all you need to do to add it to the crochet thread. All right, just want to show that part. I figure basically you know how to do that, but that's how I did it to add it. And that's how we use the collapsible eye with the crochet thread and just add it on. Just to let you know too, when you add it on the beads, we're going to need 2 of our crochet thread to complete our project. So I wouldn't go ahead and add all of them at once, all the tubes. I would do at least 3.5 tubes, okay? And that will give you enough, because although they tell you, you know, this how much yard there are, some of them are different. I found the size, you know, when you finish off, one could be larger, a little bit smaller, not that dramatic, but they estimate, they give you an approximate of how much yards will be there. So that's why I was saying don't add all the tubes at once, but go ahead, at least do 3.5 tube, because I didn't count how many beads came in a tube. But just to give you a heads up though, when we complete the bag, each row consists of 57 beads to complete that round. All right, to complete one round you need 57 beads, and we did from the top to the bottom of our bag, we did 20 rounds. All right, and then remember we have beads on our strap too, and with the strap we need 88 beads to make our strap. All right, so if that helps you out, and if you're a good mat person, you know how to do the mat, go ahead and do it. But that, I just want to let you know that when you're doing added on the beads. So we're going to start off with using the smaller hook size. It's the B1. It's the 2.25 millimeter. And we're going to start off by doing a slip knot stitch. And this is how I'm comfortable in doing my slip knot stitch. There's many ways of doing it, so feel free to do it the way you're comfortable with. I take the thread. If you hear me refer to the yarn, it's the same thing. It's just the thread that we're using, okay? Just to let you know before we get started. So I take the thread, place it over my 2 fingers, I drape it to the back, and I take my hook and I pull up a loop, and there you go. You have like a little knot. Pull it against your hook. And that's it. And so now we're going to chain, and we're going to chain 20. So a chain is yarn over your hook and pull across. That's it. That's a chain. So that's 1. Remember, we're going to have to do this 20 times, so we need 19 more. Yarn over and pull across. Yarn over and pull across. Yarn over your hook and pull across. Yarn over and pull across. And that's it. That consists of a chain. So we need 20, and when you get 20, I'll meet you there. So now we did our 20, and this is how we look. 20 chain. It's the back of it, and this is the front. So now to complete, because this is starting off row 1, to complete it, what we're going to do now is our second chain from our hook. Not this one, because this is be our first chain from our hook. This one right here, we're going to put our first single crochet. So what I like to do is I use the back part of our chain, or if you want to call it the little bars in the back, that's where we're going to go into. And we're going to work from that. So turn it towards you so you can see it, and go into that little bar in the back right there. And a single crochet is just go into that chain and then pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook, and to complete the single crochet, yarn over and pull across those 2 loops you have on your hook, and that's your first single crochet. So what we're going to do now is put a single crochet into each of our chain. So a single crochet is go in, and remember we're using the back of our chain. So pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull across. Show you again. Go into the little bar in the back of our chain, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull across, 2 of them to complete it. One more time, go into that chain, pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over to complete it, and pull across 2 of them. And that's it. And you're going to do that till you get to the end. And this is to start our bottom of our bag. And this is what it looks like when we start it, okay? To make sure you know, this is for the bottom of our bag. So made it to the last chain to do for row 1. And then we're just doing the single crochet. And that's to complete row 1. So with the completion of row 1, you have 19 stitches now, okay? So what you're going to do for row 2, you're going to chain 1. And you know how to do the chain 1 again, and just yarn over and pull through. That's it. And now we're going to start row 2. So we're going to do the exact same thing we just did. It's just by putting 1 single crochet to the end of the row. So that's it. So we're going to, and there's a stitch right there, that first one. We're going to put our first single crochet right there. So when you finish row 2, you're supposed to have your 19 stitches. Okay, so I'll meet you there at the end of row 2. Now for row 3, to start it, because we completed row 2 and we did our 19 stitches with 1 single crochet. So row 3, you're going to chain 1, turn your work. And remember, in that first single crochet right there we did from the previous row, and the others, you're just going to put 1 single crochet, all right? And you're going to do that till you get to the end of the row. So this is to start row 3. And what I like to do here, because I'm going to refer back to it later on, since we turn our work and we're on the right side, I like to just put a little stitch marker. And it's in the front little part of our thread, a crochet thread, or if you prefer yarn. Like I said, if I refer to it as yarn, it's the thread, but I just refer back to it, okay? So there you go. So then when we refer back to it, we will say this is the front of our work. So now for row 3 and the following rows, because we're going to do the same pattern, we repeat row 2. We're going to repeat row 2 till we get all the way up to row 38. So keep a track of, make sure you have your 19 single crochet when you finish your row. And remember to chain 1 and turn your work to start the new row. So keep on working with that pattern till we get all the way up to row 38, and I'll meet you there. So this is how we look when we get up to row 38. That's the front. Of course, I told you to put the stitch marker there, and this is the back. So now what we're going to do, we're going to attach the bottom of our bag to the plastic canvas. We cut out our plastic canvas to the size we need, because we need it to be 3 inches by the 5.5 inches, okay? So that's what you need. All right, it's a little off of the 5.5 because we have to keep our little edge for it, okay? So 3 inches and 5.5. So we're going to take our bottom of our bag that we crochet, and we're going to just place it on top of our plastic canvas, and we're going to just use the single crochet to go around the edge. I'll show you how we're going to start it, and when I get to this end, I'll also show you what to do. Okay, so just go ahead and make sure it's on the right side, and let's start. So now we finish off with row 38, and we end off on the back of our work. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, and then we turn it. So now our work is facing us in the front of our work. So now we could start attaching it to our plastic canvas. So what you're going to do is you're going to go just like we're doing a regular single crochet, go through that stitch, but now you're going to pick up also the plastic canvas, the first hole right there, and you're going to place 1 single crochet right there. Just pull it through. There you go. And then complete your single crochet. as normal, okay? And because that's our first single crochet made, and now we're going to be working in a round, you're going to put a stitch marker right there, right? We're going to place a single crochet in the other top right here, our little holes. So go ahead and do that, and when you place the single crochet, when you get to the corner right here, I'll meet you there and I'll show you what to do next, okay? So just go through it just like you're doing a regular single crochet, and make sure you pick up each little hole as you go along. So we made it to our corner. So now what you're going to do at that corner edge right there, you're going to put 2 single crochet, all right? So this will be our first one. Go back into that same hole and then put another single crochet. So with the completion of that, we have 21 stitches. So now we're going to turn our work and we're going to start working on the other side. And you're going to, at the corner, put 2 single crochet, but I meet you there too, just to remind you again, to show you. But here, you're going to do is just pick up as much stitches as you can as you go through, because we're not using, because it's the edge of our work when we turn, so we don't have the exact stitches that we did for the top, okay? If you understand, hopefully I explained it right. So just go through the thickness of our crochet and the hole, and just go and use the hole as your guide of how much stitches you need. And I'll meet you when we put the 2 single crochet at the corner, okay? So we went ahead and did that to the side. So of course, you know, we're using the little holes as our stitches, as how much we will get. So that brings us to 35. Now we're going to do the corner to start the top up here. So now we're going to put 2 single crochet in that corner. I already went ahead and did 1. So go ahead and put 2 single crochet, remember, in that same hole, because we're turning it and we're going to work on the other side. I just, for you to know, I just put my little tail inside so it's out of my way when I could work better, okay? So that will be 2 to the corner. And now you're going to do up here, so that will give you 22 single crochet you're going to do to the top, and then come around to the side. You put 2 single crochet here, and you come around to right here, and I meet you to back where we started, where our stitch marker is, and I'll show you what to do next. I won't show you this part and that part, figure you get the idea, but I meet you there, okay? So you're gonna have, just use the little holes as how much stitches you need to get, okay? So 22 and another 35. So we put 35 single crochet. Now in that same hole that we started with, where we have our stitch marker, we're going to put 1 more single crochet in there, because we've been putting 2 single crochet in each of our corners. So that's going to even us out by having that second crochet we're going to put right there. So it's where we started, okay? Hopefully you understand and you know what I'm saying. And that will be it. That will be the completion of round 1 for the bottom of our bag, because we're working again, remember, in rounds. So by completing that, we put that last single crochet there. We have 114 single crochet for round 1 to complete it. And remember, we use our little holes as our gauge or guide for how many single crochet we have. So that's the completion of round 1. So now we're going to start round 2. Now to start round 2, we're going to switch our hook size. So we're switching it to the E4. It's a 3.50 millimeter. So that's what we're going to do for round 2. And for round 2, all you're going to do is just put 1 single crochet around. Again, that's it. Same thing we just did. It should be easier this time because you have the actual yarn or the thread, crochet thread to work with. So go ahead, place 1 single crochet around, and I'll meet you back at the stitch marker and I'll show you what to do next. So now we completed round 2 by putting in 1 single crochet all the way around till we get back to our stitch marker, and that gives us our 114 single crochet again. Okay, it's completion of round 2. Now the pattern for round 3, this is where we're going to start it, and we're going to start adding on our beads. So the fun part begins. Yay! Yay! We finally get to pull up those beads we added on. So now take out your stitch marker. So we're starting round 3. And in that first stitch right there, you're just going to put 1 single crochet. And then this is the pattern we're going to follow. All right, put your stitch marker back in so we don't forget where we're at. And now you're going to pull up a bead. And in order to have the bead come out in the front of our work, this is how we're going to do it. So the next stitch is right here. Right there. So what you're going to do is take the little bead, pull it all the way to the front. Let it stay in the front of your hook. You take your hook and swing it around your yarn, crochet thread, and then you go into that stitch. And we're going to do, take your hook, turn it to the side, and pull up a loop of yarn. And there you go. So now the bead is in the front, and to complete it, we're going to do the regular single crochet. So you just yarn over and pull across those 2 loops we have, and there you go. That's your first bead added on, and that's how we do it. And then the next stitch, what you're going to do is just do 1 single crochet. So that's the pattern. The pattern is going to be, because we did that one just now with just a regular single crochet, you're going to add a bead, single crochet, add a bead, single crochet, add a bead. So that's how the pattern is going to be till you get back to your stitch marker, and I'll show you what to do after that. But let me show you how to add the beads on some more. All right, because I'll show you if we were doing a regular single crochet and we have the bead there, this is what would happen. Let me show you. So you go into the stitch and you just do regular single crochet. See, the bead comes out in the back of our work, but that's not what we want. We want it to come in the front. So in order for our little bead to come up in the front, remember, take your bead, pull it all the way up, take your hook and wrap it around before you go into that single crochet from the previous row. Go into it and then hold on to your little bead a little bit and yarn over and pull up a loop. When you see it looks a little awkward and when you first try it, but go ahead and do it a couple of times and you see how it works. Comes out pretty nice. Okay, so just give it a try and then complete that when you add it on the bead, regular way you complete a regular single crochet. There you go. So again, just 1 regular single crochet in the next stitch, add it on another bead, pull up another bead, keep it in the front, and then remember to take the hook, put your crochet thread in the front, go into that stitch. Trying to show it to you so you could see it. I hope my fingers are not in the way. So hold the little bead, pull up a loop of yarn. So you turn the hook to grab the crochet thread and just pull it up. There you go. Keep the little bead in the front. Complete it as regular single crochet. Right, next one is a regular single crochet. Pull up another bead. Remember, keep the bead in the front of your work. Take the hook, make sure the crochet thread is in the front. Go into that stitch and then make sure you turn the hook so you could grab the yarn. Okay, turn the hook, grab the yarn, and pull up a loop. Keep the little bead in the front, yarn over to complete the regular single crochet and just pull across, and that's it. All right, so go ahead and do that and I'll meet you back at the stitch marker. Now we made it to the end of round 3, and at the end of round 3 we finish off with the bead in our last stitch. Make sure that you have your 114 stitches around, so you're supposed to have 57 beads and 57 single crochet between the beads. Sometimes the little beads tend to hide the stitches, so be careful. So make sure you have 114 with the completion of the round, because now to start round 4, now we're going to start round 4. So take out your stitch marker, and that same stitch we just took out a stitch marker, we're going to put 1 single crochet. And don't forget to put your stitch marker back in. Remind us where we start. And what you're going to do is just going to put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, so if you move the little bead a little bit so you can see there's a stitch right there, right on top of the bead. So put a single crochet right there. And of course you could see the other stitch clearly because no bead is there. So you just put 1 single crochet right there. So that's the pattern for round 4. All you're going to do is just put 1 single crochet around. Okay, so remember, right on top of the bead there's a stitch right there, so 1 single crochet. So when you complete that, I'll meet you back at the stitch marker. So we did that for round 4. We did 1 single crochet around in each stitch from round 3. So now that makes us have our 114 stitches. Okay, so that's the completion of round 4. Now we're going to start round 5, and we're going to do the same thing that we did for round 3. So take out the stitch marker, and in that first stitch we're going to put 1 single crochet. Put your stitch marker back in so you know where you're at. And then for the next stitch, remember we did a bead. So pull up a bead, and now you're gonna remember how to add the bead is make sure it stays in the front. Take the hook and put the yarn or crochet thread in the front, go into that stitch, pull up a loop, and then you're going to complete it the same way that we do a regular single crochet. And that's it. And the next stitch will be a regular single crochet. I'll show you one more time how to add a bead. Pull up that bead, pull it all the way to the front, take your hook and make sure your yarn is in front, and go into that stitch. And then of course you turn your hook so that you could pull up a loop of yarn facing down, and now complete it as a regular single crochet. Pull across those 2 loops you have on your hook, and that's it. So that's the pattern we're going to follow for row 5. Okay, so the next stitch will be just a regular single crochet, a bead, single crochet, bead, single crochet, bead. So it's the same thing we did for round 3. So keep on working with that pattern, and when you get back to the stitch marker, I'll meet you there. So we complete that, and that's the completion of round 5. And with round 5 we finish off with our bead in our last stitch. So you have your 57 beads and 57 single crochet between the beads. So that gives you your 114 stitches. So moving forward, we're going to be working with these 2 rounds as repeat. We're going to repeat round 3 and round 4. Round 3 consists of our beads, and round 4 consists of just 1 single crochet around. So continue working with that pattern all the way up to round 41, and I'll meet you there. So we finished row 41, and we're going to start row 42 now. So this is how we look when we made it up to row 41. I think it looks pretty nice. Came out pretty good. I like it. I like it. Full view of our purse. Now to start row 42, what we're going to do is we're going to put for the first 17 stitches 1 single crochet. That's all we're going to do. So when you complete doing 17 single crochet, I'll meet you there and I'll show you what to do next. So now we're going to place one of our first little D-rings, a little tiny one. And you're going to, so we did the 17 single crochet. Place the little D-ring flat against the purse. because now what we're going to do is we're going to put 5 single crochet around the little D-ring to hold it in place. Okay, so I'll show you do it. So place it flat and then take your hook and go through the D-ring before you go through that stitch. Okay, so you're going to do this for 5 times and then do the regular single crochet. So that's our first one, and then the next one, remember, go through the D-ring and then go through the single crochet and then pull up a loop, and that's how you do it. So continue doing that for 3 more times and I'll meet you there. So you did that, you put 5 single crochet around the D-ring, and that's how it looks. We attached it. So now we're going to continue and we're going to put 53 single crochet, and then we're going to place the next D-ring. So just 1 single crochet in 53 stitches, and when you finish doing that, I'll meet you there. So we did those 53 single crochet, and now we're going to put on our next little D-ring. It's the same thing we did for the other one. Just going to put 5 single crochet around our D-ring to hold it in place. Okay, and that's all that we're doing. So go ahead and do that, and when you finish that, I'll meet you there. Okay, so we finished putting those 5 single crochet around a D-ring to hold it in place. So now what you're going to do is just 1 single crochet in all the remaining stitch till we get back our stitch to our stitch marker, and I'll show you what to do next. So we complete doing that, and that will, the remaining of the stitches will give us our 34 stitches. Okay, so that's the completion of round 42. So now to start round 43, all you're going to do is put 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and remember to put your stitch marker back in so we don't lose our spot. And you're going to do that. When you finish that, I'll meet you back at the stitch marker and I'll show you what to do next. So we made it to our stitch marker and we did 114 single crochet for round 43. So now we're going to fasten off, and how we're going to do that is you're just going to pull up a nice size tail, cut it off your yarn, and I'm going to attach my yarn needle and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I cut off my yarn and attached my yarn needle. So now we're going to do the invisible join. So you see where we have the stitch marker? We're going to skip that one, and we're going to go through like we were going to do another single crochet in the next stitch over, and you're just going to pull the yarn right through there. You could take out the stitch marker now. Finally, yeah. Anyway, and now see where our yarn is coming back from. So we're going to turn it, and where our yarn is coming from, we're going to go back into that stitch and just the back loop. Okay, we're just going to do the back loop of it and pull it, and there you go. So it's like we're making another single crochet in the top. Hide it, and then we're going to weave it inside. Just play with it and give it, you know, so you don't want to pull it too tight, but tight enough that it closes up. All right, so there you go. That's how it looks. Now, since we're inside, all you're going to do is just continue, weave it in. All right, as best as you can. Go down a couple rows, come around, and that's it. And when we finish that, I'll show you how to do the strap next. Okay, so now we're going to start attaching our yarn to our swivel hook, and that's our back to start our purse strap. And of course we're using the same hook size, the E4. It's a 3.50 millimeter. We're going to give it a tail, and we're going to start off with a slip knot stitch. I showed you how to do the slip knot stitch earlier, so this is the way I'm comfortable in doing it. So do it how you're comfortable. I give it a tail so we could tuck it in later. Okay, so now we're attached. So now what you're going to do is put 5 single crochet around our swivel hook. Okay, that's all we're going to do to start off with, and that's going to be for row 1. So that's 1, and 2. Just keep on doing it, and when you finish that, I'll meet you there. Now we finished that, so you should have 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And what you're going to do is just do 5 single crochet back. And then when you finish that, I'll show you what to do next. So we finished that for row 2. So now row 3, you're going to chain 1, turn our work, and that first stitch right there, we're going to put 1 single crochet. And the next stitch, we're going to pull up a bead. And by pulling up that bead, we're going to add this bead now. Okay? So you know how to add the bead, because we've been doing it. Just complete it by doing a regular single crochet. And then the next stitch, just do a regular single crochet. And the next stitch, pull up a bead. We're going to add a bead. And the last stitch, right there, we're going to just put 1 single crochet. And that's it. So for row 3, you have 2 beads added in, and we still have our 5 stitches. So you're going to chain 1 and turn your work, and then you're going to start row 4. Row 4, we're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch. So you're going to have 5 single crochet, all right? So now to start row 5, you're going to chain your 1, turn your work. And the same thing we did for row 3, we're going to do for row 5. Pattern for row 5 is the first stitch. You're going to just do 1 single crochet. The next stitch, you're going to pull up a bead, and we're going to add the bead. And the next stitch will be a regular single crochet. And then we add another bead in the next stitch. And our last stitch, we just do 1 regular single crochet. It's a little tight for me. All right, so that's the pattern we're going to follow. So you're going to repeat these 2 rows, row 3 and row 4. Row 3 consists of added on the bead, so you chain, you single crochet, you add a bead, you single crochet, you add a bead and single crochet, and that will give you your 5 stitches. And then and of course remember to chain 1 and turn your work. And for the next row will be just a single crochet. So this is row 5. So the next row, row 6, will be just a row of single crochet, chain 1, turn your work, add beads. And we're going to do this till we get all the way up to row 90. So we made it up to row 90. And this is how we look so far. Completing row 90, we finish on the wrong side. So for row 91, we're going to attach our last swivel hook. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And you're just going to take your swivel hook and put it against the strap, the purse strap. And we're just going to do like the same thing that we did when we did the D-ring, okay? Just go through the single crochet. We're going to put 5 single crochet around it to hold it on. And that's it. So that's our first one. Two. Three. Continue doing it till you get your 5. So we did that for 5 times. I put in a single crochet around the last swivel hook. So now you're going to chain 1, pull up a nice size tail, and what you're going to do is cut it off, and I'm going to grab my yarn needle and I'm going to show you how to tuck it in. So I'm going to show you how I tuck in one side, and go ahead and do the same thing for the other side. Okay, so just take your yarn needle and just go through. We're going to try to keep it in the back. We don't want it to come out to the front, okay? And that's all we're going to do. Just weave it in, and we're going to hide it. So that's it. So now I'm just going to cut off my tail, and that's it. And we're finished. So that's it. I think it came out pretty nice. Looks really good. All right, so we'll just attach it. Of course, I know how you know how to do that, but just to show you. To the purse. That's it. So that's it. We completed making our beaded purse. We did great work. It came out really lovely. I love the beads. I love the beads. Thank you for watching, and remember to check out my other tutorial that will show you how to actually line the bag. That's going to make it even super. So thank you again for watching. Till next time. Bye bye.